Hey guys! So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I use the daily layout in my Hobonichi cousin. In my previous video, Bullet Journaling in a Hobonichi cousin, I talk about how I use the weekly layout to do my day-to-day planning and how I use the daily layout as a bullet journal collection. So I got some questions about what goes into the daily layouts, and I went back and categorized the things that I wrote in my daily layout, and there were 5 things that I write in my daily layout. The first is lists. The second are notes. The third are brain dumps or journaling. The fourth are planning pages. And the fifth would be record keeping pages. So I'm going to go through each of those categories in this video. Alright, so the first type of things that I write in the daily sections are lists. So for example, here I have a master grocery list in which I write down all the things that I think should be in my pantry, and then every week before I go to the supermarket, I consult this list and then build my weekly grocery list from here. I also have a potential meal ideas list where I consulted the night before to decide on what meals I could cook for dinner the next day. Let's see. I have a list of things that I want to learn because I have a lot of things that I want to learn and I want to remember them. So I want to remember that I want to learn these things and then make time for these things. So I have a list of things that I want to learn. And recently my work laptop has been giving me some problems. So I made a list of the software that I need on my work laptop so that it will make the transition to a new laptop much easier. So that's the first type of things that I write in the daily section. Now, the second type of things that I write in the daily section are notes. So these can be notes from online articles, from podcasts, blog posts, journal articles, or talks. And this is usually for information that I think I want to refer to again and again. For example, I wanted to learn how to give my students meaningful praise and constructive criticism. So I went to research on the growth mindset and so on, and then I made some notes on that. I was listening to a podcast by Michael Hyatt on some productivity hacks, and I thought that they were great ideas. So I recorded them in this section, and then so that I could refer to these notes and then apply the ideas to my daily life. I was reading a blog post by this person called Raul Pacheco Vega, who wrote a pretty good blog post on the literature review process and how to write a rhetorical process, and I thought that that would be really useful for my work. So I made notes. I summarized his article, his blog post in this section. Oh, right. Recently, I mean last month, I went for a talk on tea and the Chinese culture, and I made some notes. I will probably not refer to this on a regular basis, but it was such an interesting talk that I thought that I should record down some of the things that I learned during this talk so that I could refer to it if I felt like it, or if I wanted to tell people about it, then I could refer to the notes section here. Let's see. All right, yes. So this is a summary of a journal article by Dunlosky et al. And it is on effective learning techniques. So sometimes my students will come to me and ask me, hey, what might be the best way to go about learning learning, and I wanted to give them an evidence-based response. So I read up on the effective learning techniques so that I can tell them what the science currently says. So that's the second type of things that I write in my daily section, the notes that I want to refer to. Now, the third thing that I write in the daily section would be brain dumps or like journaling. So for example, on this day, I felt very overwhelmed, and so I figured that I was going to write steps to counter my anxiety that day. So this is like a brainstorm of what I could do to overcome the anxiety that I felt that day. Sometimes I write some random reminders to myself. For example, it's okay to ask for help, don't reinvent the wheel, don't be afraid to say no, things like that. I have a problem of saying yes to a lot of things, so I thought that it would be good to write these reminders down. Sometimes I refer to them as well. I also write some thoughts. On this day, I was trying to decide whether or not to get I think it was a Sailor Yamadori ink. So I was writing down notes or thoughts on fountain pen inks and fountain pens here. I typically, so all of this is pretty personal information, but I typically don't write even more personal things in my Hobonichi. So for example, thoughts on a certain person, or my, sadness at losing a loved one, things like that. I would not write in here, because this is my work and personal planner. I bring it everywhere that I go. So if I were to lose this book, a stranger who picks it up can just basically read my inner thoughts, and that makes me really uncomfortable. And I have some colleagues who do not respect privacy, so they might peer over and look into my notebook or even grab my notebook and look into it. So I try not to write, I try not to write overly personal inner thoughts related stuff here. So brain dumps and journaling, that's the third type of things. The fourth type of things are planner related stuff. So for example, goal setting, career planning, project planning, reviews, those are the things that go under the umbrella of planning related stuff. And that forms the biggest part of the bullet journal collection. So let me show you my career planning spreads. So this is my career planning spread, where I write down the potential careers and then the skills that I need. So I give you some background about this. So I graduated this year sometime in June, and I was kind of at a loss as to what my future direction in life would be. So I figure out that, okay, there are some potential careers that I can go into given my current skill sets. But I have some skills, they are not, I have some skills, but they may not be 100% suitable for certain careers. So I made another spread, let me show you, here. So I made another spread where I did a skills audit. On this side would be all the skills that I need from here, all the skills that I need. And on this side is the proficiency level with regard to these skills. And my hope is that in the future, when I do another skills audit, these poor or zero proficiency skills would improve. And then I would be able to develop the skills that are necessary for some of these career paths. So that's the career planning page. I also have a project planning page. I've shown this before in my previous video. On this side are the steps to the project. On this side would be the columns for each week. And then I draw a box in the column for that step. So if I wanted the step to happen in July, or it should be completed in July, then I draw a box there. As you can see, this project has been delayed quite a bit. So that's that. And then I also have a goals page. I set some goals for the next quarter. So these are the life domains: health, relationship, personal development, finance, and work. And these are the specific things that I want to accomplish from October to December in these domains. I not only have a goal setting section, I also have what I call an accomplishment page. Let me look for that. Okay, right here. So one day I was feeling very down because I felt like I hadn't achieved much this year, even though I had grand plans. So I was feeling really down, and then I decided that I was going to list down all the achievements that I had for this year, and I broke them down by a month. And as I wrote this, I realized that I was wrong, that I had quite a number of achievements for this year, and that I shouldn't feel so bad about myself. And this was quite a revelation because in my mind, I'm always looking forward to a future goal, but I don't take enough time to look backwards to see where I have come from, how far I have come from. How far I have come? Yeah. So it seems that in a planning situation, you not only need to plan for the future, you also need to look back on your progress. And I know that this sounds very, I don't know, commonsensical, but it was quite a revelation to me that day. So having done this achievement list was useful for me that day. So there is another final bit about my planning section, which is the review of the planner system. So I have reviews of my planner system every month. I state what worked for me, what did not work, and things that I want to change, as well as things that I want to keep. I also do the weekly review. I know I've shown this page before, but let me briefly go through this. I have wins for this week, stuff that is still in progress, what helped with the productivity, what hindered, and what I can do with the hindrances. I don't do this every week, even though it's called a weekly review. I don't do it every week because there are some weeks where I don't have much to say. But then there are other weeks in which like things have gone terribly wrong, or I really can't figure out what's gone wrong and things like that. So then I would do the full weekly review. All right, so those are the fourth type of things that I write in my planner. There's only one more to go, and this is the record keeping bit. I only have one page for the record keeping, and it is my health report. So I recently went for a health screening, and I got my results, and then I wrote it down here. I wrote some comments as well about my results and what I can do to improve my results. I plan to keep my Hobonichis for life, my bullet journals for life, and so it will be useful for me in the future to look back on this page and then see, oh, okay, in September of this year, this was what my health looked like, and so on and so forth, so that I can figure out whether I have improved on my health or not improved on my health. So those are the 5 ways that I use my daily layouts in the Hobonichi. So you may have some other ways. So if you do, please leave a comment in the section below. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye bye.